Good morning, all. It's Kelly from LOCG KNITS. Welcome to the podcast. This is episode 37, and it is August 4th. August 4th, Saturday. It is about 9 o'clock in the morning, and it is already stinking hot. The house is like a sauna. I'm lucky that my office is down in the basement floor because it's the coolest place in the house right now. And even that, I wouldn't say is cool. This heat wave, I know everybody's talking about it, but seriously, I feel like I'm roasting in the bowls. I'm roasting in the bowls of hell. I have lost my ability to speak. Bowels. I'm in the bowels of hell, people. This is horrible. I live in Nova Scotia. This is not supposed to happen. We get 1 week of humidity in August, and that's it. Rant over. Weather rant over. Sorry, humidia is coming out. Woo, she's a beast. How long till autumn? So, this is episode 37. It's a knitting podcast. So to all the returning viewers, thank you so much for coming back. You guys are awesome. For all the new viewers, I hope that you like what you see and you come back. And I'm just going to dive in because we really don't have any administration other than where to find me, which I almost always forget. I'm pretty much LOCG KNITS everywhere except, and everywhere. I have a Facebook page. And the Ravelry group is LOCG KNITS, and my username on Ravelry is lochbriar, and my Etsy shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarns is LOCG KNITS. And the only place it's not LOCG KNITS is Instagram, where I'm most active, and there it's Kelly L. Boyce, and I'll just pop that down here. I should say, too, as we get started, because of the time I'm podcasting, the sun hits this side of the house, so woo, hello. What the hell? Come on. Anyway, we may have some lighting issues, but I think we're just gonna have to go with it because of the time of the day. I get the sun here. I've got the curtains closed on that window, but when I closed them on this window, it kind of made the room too dark, and so whatever, we're just gonna have to go with it. Let's go with it. So yeah, where was I? What was I talking about? All right, Instagram. So Instagram is Kelly L. Boyce, and I'm most active there. But pop on over to the Ravelry group. Hopefully we can get a little more chatter going on over there. That's where I put all the show notes. There's an Ask Me Anything thread. There is, what else we've got going on over there? I think there's a Show Me Your Foe. So if you have any finished objects you want to show off, go on over and pop them in there. Yeah, so if there's anything else, like any other threads you guys wanted me to start up in there, just let me know. And yeah, that's about it. But Instagram, I'm definitely the most active, and the only reason it's Kelly L. Boyce is because I'm an author as well, so I started the Instagram for that, and most of my readers probably wouldn't know to look for LOCG KNITS, and then it's sort of when the knitting, I got back into the knitting, and then I started the hand-dyeing yarn on the side. It just sort of took over the Instagram account because some authors are much better at this than me, but I find really, like, what am I supposed to take a picture of? Me typing on my typewriter? Woo! Not typewriter, laptop. Child of the 80s. Whatever. What am I drinking today? Not tea. It's lemon water. So it's basically just water with some real lemon tossed in to flavor it and keep me cool. So it's too hot for tea. It's too hot for tea. My hair has been doing like a total frizz job for the past I want to say month, and I finally decided, if any of my previous viewers know I always have bang issues, so I've got them pinned back now. I'm growing the stupid things out. I give up. Because they always kind of go, and they're always in my face, so I'm like, I'm just going to grow them out again. Whatever. Bang, fail. So anyway, it is a knitting podcast, not a hair podcast, not a weather podcast, so let's get going. So I think you may, if you watched the last episode, you may remind me saying about my Phoebe scarf, that I was knitting, that I was pretty sure I was going to have it done. This is my Phoebe scarf by Jose Paquin. Is that focusing? There we go. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have this done by the next episode. And I didn't, because something else sort of took over. And I didn't. So I think I was around here the last time. And I'm on the second half. It's all twisted. Hold on. And it's all kind of wrinkled. But I'm going to, hold on for the ride there, Uber. See if I can, the lighting is probably going to blow this out. I wonder if I can go this way. Oh, there. So, I've got the red color done, and then I'm starting the light gray stripe now. And that basically just leaves me one more, like I'll have one more stripe of this. I feel like I'm far away now. So, I basically I have to do the gray stripe, then I have to do one more green, and then I have to do the teal stripe, which is the teal stripe. And then I'm just doing the end part, which will look identical to this part, only it will be in the green. And I was going to weave in my ends, but as you can see, I did not. So, but look, I can move my shoulder up to hold it. So, the shoulder. I can't remember if I had my MRI the last episode or I was going to get it. So, for any new viewers, quick story, on Canada Day, I was kayaking, I was getting out of the kayak, and through a series of unfortunate incidences, I fell getting out of the kayak and slammed my arm hard on the dock, which sort of drove it up. I should demonstrate with the arm that works. Kind of drove it up, and it was like really, really sore. And I'd had rotator cuff issues in the past, so I thought, oh, I probably just tweaked it a bit, it'll be fine. And then by 4 o'clock in the morning, I was telling my husband we had to go to Emerge because I was in pain. I was sure I had done something, and sure enough, I had. So I went to Emerge, and they thought I had torn my rotator cuff. So they put me in with an ortho surgeon, which I couldn't get in to see until I think it was 4 or 5 days later. He thinks I tore my rotator cuff, so he sent me for an MRI, which happened almost 2 weeks ago. So we got the results back, and yes, indeed, I tore my rotator cuff. And it turns out there's a tendon right here. It's called your supraspinatus tendon. I have a full tear in it, so I am likely going to have to get surgery sooner rather than later because the muscle retracts, and when the muscle starts to retract, it turns to fat and it doesn't turn back into muscle. And if it retracts too far, they can't do the surgery. So I'm going to expect, when I meet with my ortho surgeon, who's currently on vacation until the 13th. So anyways, I have a consult with him on August 30th, but given that we don't want the muscle to retract too far to the point that we can't do surgery means they may bump up my consult and do surgery right away. There's a very, very small chance that because I have, through physio, gotten about 50% of my mobility back fairly quickly, that he may decide not to do surgery and try the rehab route through physio to improve it. The only problem with that is that if they go that route and then they decide it's not working, at that point the muscle's probably going to have retracted beyond the point that it's going to be viable for surgery. So I don't know, it's all up in the air right now until I meet with the surgeon, but talking to my physio and most of the stuff, I now have a fiber hair in my eyeball. It looks like it probably will be surgery, and it will probably be sooner rather than later, which, but here's the thing. It's not a full rotator cuff tear, so, and the tendon that is torn, my physiotherapist has said is, if you're, really you're going to tear one. If you're going to tear one, pick this one. The rehab on this one is not as lengthy as, say, if you tore your whole rotator cuff, or maybe like one of the, like there's tendons on either side kind of going down that way. So it's still going to be kind of lengthy, 4 to 6 months. And of course, if we do the surgery now, that's going to be right over Christmas knitting time, which I was planning on. That was my Christmas plans, was Christmas knits for pretty much everybody. So, I don't know, not good timing. But I would kind of rather get the rehab out of the way before winter, or before we get too heavily into winter, which for us is kind of more February on, because I really don't feel like walking around on slippery surfaces when and then falling, and, well, this is still healing. So anyway, that's the story of the shoulder. So yeah, I will keep you posted. And I'm thinking, can I still podcast if I can't knit? And I'm so trying to come up with some ideas. And hopefully the not knitting part won't be within the 4 to 6 months. I won't be able to knit when I'm slinged up, clearly, because I'm not going to be allowed to move the joint at all. But anyway, that's a sad story of the shoulder. Yay! So in the meantime, I am going to maybe try to start some of my knitting for Christmas now and get a couple things done. But this one's for me. And you know what? I totally did the colors. I used the same color palette for the most part as I did on my first one, but I changed up what colors went where. And I gotta tell you, I really, at first I was like, oh, I don't know, this looks kind of funky, but I kind of like it. Like, I like it. So, and I really want to keep it, but if if I'm short on Christmas presents, I may have to gift this to somebody. It makes me really sad. Anyway, we'll see. So that is the Phoebe scarf. So I would say that's half done. I'm past the halfway point on that, but I think I was past the halfway point on that last episode. So anyway, so let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the Tegna sweater. Oh, people, I get past the lace. So, I'm going to try to do this and, all right. So I got past the lace, and oh my God. I think I'm almost, actually, let's see, I have to knit, there we go, 14 inches. Wow. retracting. So 14 inches. I have about 1 inch to go. So I've got 13 inches. Check it out. Oops, let's get it in. Actually, I'm gonna stand up a little bit. There you go. So, actually, you know what? Because you go to the armpit, or, you know, to the sleeves, and it's a cropped sweater. So my waist is, there's the belly button. So I don't know, I may actually, because once it blocks, it's going to go a little longer. So I may actually stop here and start the arms. Back in place. There we go. Also allergies. Allergies, and I scratched my eye, so now I have to put drops in my eye to try to clear it up. Seriously, series of unfortunate events. That's my life lately. So yeah, so I may let that stand where it is now and start shaping for the arms. I haven't read that far in the pattern yet, so I think you put some of the stitches on hold after you shape for the arms and then do the front and then the back. Anyway, read the pattern, Kelly. So I'm really glad that I stuck with it. I love this yarn. I'm using Ilmani in their Sabri line, which is their organic cotton and baby alpaca or baby llama. Or put your glasses on. I should know, I say this every 85% organic cotton, 75% alpaca, and this is kind of like a really nice semi-marled but very mildly marled gray. Like I can see hints of white in there. So yeah, it's sort of got a marled effect. But I love this. It is so soft. It is so wonderful to knit with. I'm really glad that I chose that yarn to do it in. So I got my little wine glass stitch marker on there because really while I was doing the lace, I needed some wine. And you know, the lace is not without its mistakes, but to be honest, I think I haven't really noticed where the mistakes are yet. I'm sure if I looked hard enough, I could find them. But I don't even care. I'm just so glad we've done the lace. So yeah, so that's the Tanya, and that's for anybody who's not familiar, I don't have my pattern in there, but it's the Tanya sweater by Caitlin Hunter from Boyland Knits, and I think pretty much everybody seems to be knitting one of these. So I'd be surprised if you hadn't heard about it. And I think I'm a little late to the party on this one, but so I would like to kind of put a jump on finishing that. I'd set it aside because I had another project here that just seemed to grab my attention more after I got to about, I think, here, and then I thought, no, I got to, or here where the marker is, and then I was like, no, I just want to get up to the 14 inches and then get this done because I mean, honestly, it's so stinking hot. I'm not going to be wearing this right now anyway, but for fall. And then you watch, I'll be in a sling for most of fall, and I won't be able to wear, I don't know how I'm going to dress myself. I have no clue. I have no clue. And I'll probably miss, I think, a week or two of work. Which is good because I'm not going to be able to dress myself. I think for the first couple of weeks, I'm not even allowed to take the sling off. Or for the first week, something like that. I was kind of reading on, you know, Dr. Internet, the recovery. So Anyway, what else have I been working on? So, this is in my loop bag, and my, I'll show you my Tanya. That's in my lemonade bag by Longview Creations. And then, of course, my Phoebe scarf is in one of my loop bags, and these are my favorite. They have, like, the drawstring. And then, ta-da! These are, like, I love these. Those are from my local yarn shop, The Loop. The owner, Mimi, her mother makes those, and they are amazing. I have several, 4, 5. And this is also, this is like the small bag that she makes, which are perfect for socks. And, see if I can do so pulling things off the stitches. There we go. Yes, no, maybe, there. So I made a little progress on my sock, but really not a whole lot. This is my burning down the house sock. This is the from oops. This is my messy cake. So this is the yarn. It's burning down the house. That's my hand-dyed yarn. There's none of this left in the shop, but honestly, I love how this is knitting up so much, and I love orange for autumn as well. So I am going to probably, hopefully, do up some more. And that being said, that's all going to depend on whether I can or not, because I can't lift anything heavy with this arm. And then, of course, if I end up having surgery, I won't be dying until, I don't know, a few months after, at least. So here it's just like a vanilla sock. Heel flap and gusset. I do an eye of partridge heel. There we go. I like that heel. It just kind of, I like the texture of it. The thing I like too is that there's a garter stitch row here, which when you're picking up your stitches to shape your gusset, makes it so much easier, I find, than if you're just going from like a stockinette edge, I find. I don't know. Maybe just me. But yeah, so I'm almost ready to shape the toe. I think I have it about maybe another ½ inch to go because I have small feet. So that's the first sock. I have I think I have 2 second socks I need to do, 3, I guess, if we count this one once I finish. Which I think I really need to get on, but there's so many other, see, that's the problem. Like, you've got all this gorgeous sock yarn, and I'm thinking I want to knit, I want to see how it all knits up before I can't knit. So it's like I'm going to have like 12 first socks and no second socks. But, so I've got to stop doing that. So I think once I finish this, I'm going to dive right into the second sock, and then I'm going to dive into the second sock for the other ones, for the other 2. The only other thing that might get in the way of that is if I think I really need to get on the stick and get some Christmas knitting done before I can't. So I don't know. See, I feel like everything's up in the air, and I hate that feeling. So these I'm knitting on size 0 with my Addy Turbo Rockets, and I really like these because they're super sharp. I got a kink in the what you call it there, cord. But yeah, what are you gonna do, right? So that is it. Then, so here's the project that has been totally monopolizing a lot of my time and kept me from finishing everything else. And it was just really, really addictive. So if you've seen the last episode, and do I have it here? No, it's on the other side of the room. I showed like the big kind of box or whatever, or I guess it was my big bento bag I had filled with like leftover sock yarn, sock head hat yarn, all of that, just like leftovers. So I decided I was going to do some cowls, and I picked the Land of Sweets cowl by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and this was from last year's Knit Vent 2017. See if I can find another picture, I think, on here. Yeah. So this kind of gives you a sense of the size of it, and basically it's like you change up color and the pattern every 8 rows, which is fantastic. So I've been knitting on that, and this is actually a new project bag I bought. Again, in the last episode I mentioned we were going down to Mahone Bay and Lunenburg that weekend, so we did. And this is one of the things I bought. It's made by someone local there, and I just loved like the colors of it. And then inside, it's this great little thing. And so I started knitting this, and it's a little scrunched up, but I'm going to try and not knock it off the needles while I show you. So, and I don't remember all of the yarn I used, and it's kind of scrunched up, so I mean it's gonna block out fine. But so this here, I'm gonna see if I can get up a little closer. Oops, there we go. So this here is from Lochbriar Knits. That's my sweet Briar. It's kind of blowing out a little. Let me step back a bit. There we go. That was my sweet Briar colorway. The second one is National Fleece Artists in their National Parks in their Nunavut colorway. This one here is, I believe it's Silver Fox, and that's a lichen and lace. This one I don't remember. I think it might be a Fiber for the People yarn. I know I made my sister-in-law a pair of socks out of it for Christmas, I believe. And I couldn't find the tag, but I think it might have been Fiber for the People. This here was Clover by Lichen and Lace. This was the Northwest Territories from the National Parks by Fleece Artist. This was another Lichen and Lace, and I can't remember, it was one of the silver ones. Pewter, maybe? This, I think, was a Fleece Artist Christmas one from years ago, and then this one here was a colorway I did just a one-off for my niece, which was called Maggie's Garden. So so far I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've done 9 colors, and I think I have 24 to go, or 24 total. So. But I'm literally just randomly grabbing a color out of the bag and putting it on. I'm not even planning, as you can tell. I'm really not planning, like, what color comes next. It's literally, okay, that one looks good, yep, throw it on. And it's just making it fun, and every 8, it's like stripy socks in the way that every 8 rows, it changes. And the pattern changes, and the color changes. So it's been really addictive. I did find this past week my shoulder was a little more sore than it has been, and I think that's just because one of the physio exercises I did had been added to the routine, and it's one where you it's almost like you take a sword out and you have to slowly stretch the band this way and then slowly bring it in. And I find it's really sort of activating this area here. So I would knit for a little bit, and that would start to just really start to ache. Plus, anytime I sit in a chair, if I sit back for some reason, and apparently this is normal, but the back of my shoulder blade really hurts, and then it starts to like pull all up here. It's a mess. I'm a mess. I'm a mess, people. Anyway, so as much as I don't want surgery, I'm just really looking forward to getting this dealt with so I can get back to my regularly scheduled life. So I've been keeping that in there just because it's handy. I can kind of walk around the house with it and do that. So most of the stuff I've been using, actually all the stuff I've been using for that has been leftover yarn. I do have some minis, like I got a little thing of these. I think like these ones, I got these ones like, I mean, eons ago. I've literally never used them. I don't think that's going to be enough for 8 rows. I don't know. And I don't want to try it and then find out it wasn't. And then I'm like, because I'm not taking back. But I do have some like little minis that I dyed up myself. So that's sort of in the 212 colorway, and then just some solids and semi-solids that I did. So I may toss some of those in it as well. Just to mix it up. One thing of like things I have to get done. My nephew was down a few days ago, and he picked out the yarn that he wanted his Christmas socks done in. And he picked out these ones because he loved how you can't really tell when it's all caked up, but there was this is the Summerberry Splash colorway that's in the shop right now. But he had loved the way like the dark purple and the green kind of meshed together. So those are going to be his socks. And where he picked it out, I really would like to get those done before, for him for Christmas. Of course, then I feel bad for the other kids because they were wanting socks too. But I don't know. What can you do? Life. So that's basically everything that's on the needles. There is one thing, and I completely forgot I had bought this pattern. It's called a pancetta, and it's by the Brown Stitch, which is Elizabeth Smith. I get something on the paper, I don't know what it is. And I think I had shown this on an earlier podcast, but I thought this would be really great, especially to have at the office. Because our office, not now, but in the, I find once the fall hits, from fall to like early summer, it's usually freezing in there for some reason. And I thought this would be really nice to kind of have like draped over. It takes 566 yards of worsted weight yarn. I don't think I would do it in worsted weight yarn. I think I would rather do it in maybe DK or, oh, it's starting to get warm down here too. I'm melting. I think I would like to do it in fingering weight. So I'm probably going to have to jiggle the sizing, which I don't know if I've really got the skill to do, but I might give it a go and put that on my to be knit list. And I may actually do, if you can kind of see the way the pattern is, I may do like some striping, like some random striping, not like definitely like every second one like alternating, but I thought I might take some leftover yarn and just like sort of maybe throw in a random stripe here, and then maybe a random stripe here, you know what I mean, like just for a little detailing. So I might, because I think it would be a fun knit. It's got, and I'm pretty sure I got this off of Ravelry. So yeah, I think I might do that. I think I might. Add that to the queue. I'm gonna have like so much stuff in my queue, and then I'm not gonna be able to knit it for like months. How to make a knitter go crazy. So, as I said, my husband and I took a little day trip down not last weekend, the weekend before, to Bay and Lunenburg. So I did do some purchases because that's what I do when I go down there. And I needed another little notions pouch, so I picked this up. It's the perfect size. It can fit my little scissors in it. I can put in some little, I'll put like some stitch markers in a little baggie like that and have it in there. And, you know, just, I think I have an extra stitch counter I can put in there. But I like it. It's like a nice kind of heavy canvas. Let's get the little pulley there. And I like the design on it. It's like a little butterfly with, I think, some dog hair. The dog's loving the heat. He's literally right now sacked up on the tile with facing the fan. So I got a fan going. We don't have air conditioning because we don't really need air conditioning since it doesn't get stinking hot here usually. And when it does, it only lasts a week. And so, you know, you just suck it up for a week and then it goes away. But I'm really kind of wishing I did. So the other thing, I got this at Mariner's Daughter, and this is the Echo Llama, which I made my puntilla sweater out of. This is like, it's a light gray yarn, and that's the Illimani in their Echo Llama, which is so it is 100% baby llama, and there's 402 yards per skein. So I picked up 3 skeins, ta-da! And I don't know which sweater I'm going to make out of it yet, but I love the color, and I love the yarn, so I thought I might as well pick it up while they had some there. So I did that, and I don't know if they have, I don't think they have the colors on it. Yeah, it just says GC. So, but the other thing I did, and I kind of went back and forth on this, not because it's not absolutely beautiful, and I wasn't sure if I wanted it. I definitely wanted it. It's the Handmade and Fine yarn. It is their Boreal colorway, and it's in sea silk, which is 70% silk and 30% sea cell, which apparently is a thing. I think it's some sort of, I don't know, seaweedy thing, but it is so incredibly soft. And the colors, I mean, honestly, people, look at that. Like this pop of rose, mauve. Actually, that's more of a mauve. And the kind of the greens. There's some, I'm doing this with one hand. My shoulder's getting sore. There's like some gold. It's beautiful. There's 400 meters, so 437 yards. And yeah, like it was just so beautiful. But it was expensive, like, and that's why I kind of picked it up, and then I put it down, and I picked it up, and then I put it down, and I picked it up. Like, seriously, the lady at the shop, I got the Illimani ones at the Mariner's Daughter, and I got this one at Have a Yarn, the one I called the Yarn Barn. Thanks God, Have a Yarn. I did notice too that they had another new yarn shop just kind of as you're driving into Mahone Bay, which I definitely want to check out, but we didn't have time. But it was expensive, I think, but I mean, because it's silk and whatever, but it was just so beautiful. And I don't know what I'm going to make out of it. I might make like a really soft pal or a little shawlette. I don't know. I probably have enough on this to possibly make an old vines shawl. I don't know. So anyway, that's that. And that was my purchases along with this bag here. So that was pretty much it. I think that's all that I bought while I was down there. Not that that's, 4 skeins of yarn, a notions pouch, and a project bag. So what else? I think that's kind of it. I did, so in the queue, because I like to torment myself with the idea of not being able to knit it. So in the queue, I pulled this one out again. This is an Isabel Kramer pattern, her JC pattern. And I've got this yarn that I want to do it in. This is Telluride. It's Classic Elite. I knit my, what hat was it? I think it was my church mouse hat. I knit out of this yarn, not this color, but I do like it. I like this yarn, and I just think that would make such a good match for that type of cardigan. So I was in my craft room the other day thinking I really have to kind of straighten this up because it's getting kind of messy. And instead I was going through my sweaters quantity of yarn. So I have a sweaters quantity of that. So I've sort of pulled that one out. So yeah, for Crinkle. So I set that aside, and then I also have a sweaters quantity of Quince & Co. Lark, which is their worsted weight, and I bought that to do Andrea Mowry's The Weekender. So I thought, okay, I think what I need to do, because I have quite a few sweaters quantities of yarn, is I'm going to designate the sweater projects for that. And then I'm just going to sit in a corner and cry when I'm all slinged up and can't do anything. But I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of spend the week as I'm cleaning my area up here because it's looking a little like the yarn goddess exploded. that's how we'll phrase it. So I kind of have to clean this place up. But I thought while I'm doing that, I'll maybe organize my sweater quantities into specific projects. So I think that's pretty much all I have. I think that's all I have going on right now, knitting-wise. I didn't get as much knitting done. It's sort of picked up a little more in the end of the week. Knitting-wise, my shoulder was feeling a little better. But I've got no knitting done, or no hand dyeing, so there's really no shop update other than there is yarn in the shop, but I haven't dyed up any in the last couple of weeks to do an update with the new things, but there is plenty of stock in the shop if you want to check that out. Just loop it here. And life stuff. I guess that brings us to the end. There's really not much life stuff going on other than these shoulder issues and brouhaha. I do go on vacation. My husband and I start our vacation next Friday, or actually he starts on the Thursday. His dad is leaving and going back to Toronto, so we have the summer house to ourselves finally. So he is actually going to take Thursday off, and he's going to go down to the house and start cleaning it. I'm kind of limited in how much cleaning I can do, and that's a real shame. But so my husband's going to go down on the Thursday and try to get the place cleaned up, so that we can kind of head down on Friday and just sort of get our, pick up our food, blah, 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 and just sort of start relaxing and being on vacation. Our stepson is coming with us for the week, so I think the guys are going to do some day trips. We have like it's called On Tree. It's basically at the Martok ski hill, and it's in the wooded area, and it's all of these rope, what would you call them, sort of, it's all of these like rope things tied from one tree to the other, and you have to navigate your way around them to get to the next platform. And I mean, you're hooked in on pulleys, it's all safe, but it's terrifying at the same time, and it's really hard, the harder levels you go up to. And then when you get to the end of one section, you zip line to the next section, which I love zip lining. And you're up quite high, so the zip lines are a lot of fun. And we did that, was it last year we did that? And I had a blast. I think they may be going out to do that, and I'm really sad because I can't. But I don't want to tell them they can't because I can't. But and on the other hand, if they do go and do that, that gives me the day to myself, which, you know, that's not so bad. And then I think the other thing they were going to do is paintball, which I wanted to do, but again, that might be pushing it. So I'll get another day to myself, and then we'll probably do a couple of day trips, or maybe one other day trip where we kind of go somewhere for the day. But I think mostly I just want to kick back and relax at the summer house and just get some knitting done, catch up on some reading. We don't have like cable or anything there. We have internet, and we can hook our computer into the TV screen that we have there and do Netflix. But so in the evening we may watch like a movie or whatever, but we don't have that turned on like through the day, which is good because we don't need it. That was nice. So I think that's about it. That's really all that is going on. The first weekend we're there, the Saturday, which is another reason we have to get the place cleaned up, is my entire family is descending for my sister and dad's sort of birthday celebration. Everybody's coming down, and they're going to stay overnight, and then we kind of make like a weekend out of it. So, and then the vacation starts. So we've got the kayaks there, and I think they may pitch a tent for the kids in the yard, but there's enough room for them to sleep inside if they don't want to. There's enough bedrooms for all of the adults, so that's good. We don't have to sleep on the floor or, you know, out in tents, because that would be really uncomfortable. And that's really about it. I think that's all that's going on. So I'm going to let you guys go. We've kind of got a low-key weekend. We don't have the boy this weekend, so we're just going to kind of kick it. My husband's out, I think, weed whacking at the summer house right now, and visiting with his dad. So I've got some time. I might try to get some knitting done. And that is about it. That's all she wrote. So I'm going to let you guys go. Again, all the subscribers and returning viewers, thanks so much. If you want to get notified of when the next episode is up, just hit the subscribe button. And if you like the episode, give it a thumbs up. That's really helpful getting the word out on the interwebs for the channel. So thank you very much for you guys that have been doing that. That's awesome. And all the new viewers, I hope you enjoyed the episode and you'll return. And I think that's it. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks. And I think my next podcast may possibly be from the summer house. I think it will be. So we might be in some new digs next podcast. So until then, I will see you guys later, and happy knitting. Bye.